weeks, but we have Clint Fuqua, who is our physical wellness guru, and he has the personal health care reform talk show segment. And he does a lot of blogging. He has a great blog. If you go to clintfuqua.com, you'll get it all. And he just comes out with so many things that help us live both in a physical, emotional, and wellness. It all plays in together. And today he's going to do a panel discussion and talk about kids' health and our health. And so I'm going to pass this over to him. And we've missed you, Clint.
Yeah, it's been a while. It's been 2 weeks I've been out because, well, it's been summertime. People have been out. My guests have fallen out. And I took a little break because, well, I needed a little break. Yeah. Everybody needs a vacation, right?
So
this is Personal Healthcare Reform, episode number 4. So kids are back in session, so we're going to talk about keeping the kids healthy while they're back in school, which is a big thing because, as we all know, whenever the kids get back in school, they're around everybody else. There's tons of germs, all the social stuff. There we go. We're back. Live TV is fun. So we're going to look at that. We're going to look at some ways to keep the kids healthy while they're in school. So whenever the flu's going around, your kids don't get the flu. They don't get the colds. They don't get all that stuff. They stay in school. They stay healthy. They stay focused on what they're doing. So they're not.
Yeah, they're around all those kids.
They're around everybody. Plus, we're also going to look at how to keep them focused on what they're doing because ADHD is a big thing right now. In fact, there was a study that came out not too long ago showing that the youngest kids in the class are the first ones to get diagnosed with ADHD because probably they're younger than the rest of the kids. They don't have as much attention span as the older kids in the class will. So normally they get singled out initially for ADHD, even though they may not have it. It's just they're not as focused on things as a kid a little bit older than them, especially if you've got one kid that was held back for a year, which happens sometimes, probably due to sports. That way the kid's already bigger and stronger than everybody else. You have a kid that's a year older in a grade at 7 or 8 and 8 and 9 years old. That's a huge difference in mentality for the kids.
Maybe they just had their birthday late.
Yeah, you have that thing. So a younger kid may seem all ADHD because, well, he's around an older kid that's a little more mature and can stay focused on things a little bit longer. Plus, you have different personalities that go into that. But I thought that was a very interesting study, and that came out 2 weeks ago.
So I was saying they're prematurely doing that?
Yeah. Okay. So it's kind of like, well, this kid's all over the place, so ADHD. Get him on the stuff now. No, not really. So that was an interesting study, and to move into that, we're actually going to do health in the news. So the first thing we're going to look at is Wall Street Journal this week, personal journal. Since I've been doing a lot of talking about gluten-free stuff, we have, there we go, giving up gluten.
To lose weight.
Yeah, to lose weight, not so fast. So they talked about, people will actually start going on gluten-free diets just to lose weight. Actually, you will kind of lose a little weight because you reduce water retention, things like that, because if everybody is slightly gluten intolerant to some degree, not like if you have celiac disease or if you really are gluten intolerant, but usually whenever you do that, you start cleaning up your diet and you will end up losing weight just as a side product to that. So to some degree, yeah, you will lose weight because you're trying to clean everything up because you're getting the gluten out, which means you're going to start eating fresher meats, or you're going to start eating more fruits and vegetables and everything else. So yeah, pounds will drop off from that. But it was a very good article. There were a few things in here I am going to put on my blog, so go to my blog. Make sure to go to my blog here.
And where is your blog?
Just go to clintfuqua.com.
Okay.
So all you got to do, punch that in there, it takes you straight to my blog page, and then you can go onto my Facebook page straight from there. Everything's linked together.
You got it really nicely done.
It's that whole cloud network we were talking about earlier. It works well. But there's actually a lot of things out there for people that travel. So there's a lot of restaurants that are starting to go gluten-free on items. You do have to watch out on where the preparation is happening. So hopefully they have like a gluten-free section of their kitchen and a regular section of their kitchen, because otherwise you get cross-contamination, and that means you're going to have gluten in all the food, even though you're not using gluten in certain things. But that's going on. There's actually right now 1 in every 133 people is being diagnosed with celiac disease. That is 20-fold since 1989. That is huge increase. So, okay. So, some of that comes back to what we have in our diets, because we have so many more grains in our diet now than we used to, especially since the 1950s. So there's a lot more. So I thought that was a very interesting statistic for us. And we're going to move on from that to sleep, because everybody needs to get their sleep, they need to get their Z's. And since we're going to be talking about kids getting back into school, you parents out there, we all need some sleep. Parents, y'all need about 7 hours. The kids need about 8 to 9 hours. They actually need more sleep than you do. So making sure they get to bed early, especially the younger kids, that once they start getting into kindergarten, or actually preschool, kindergarten, start getting them into the mode of bedtime is at this certain point of the day. So lights are going to start being dimmed down. We're going to quieten things down. We're going to put on some softer music. Essentially, you got to set the mood to get them tired. Maybe even put a math book in front of them or something like that. Make them read for a little bit.
And what
they
should
will be
you not
out like
feed
a
them?
light.
What could you feed them or not feed them before bedtime that would help? I mean,
before bedtime, funny
nice
enough,
warm glass of milk.
Yeah, give them some worm lime. No, just kidding. No worm lime. That's for the plants. No, actually, funny enough, the warm milk actually does work very well. Probably due to the proteins that are in the milk itself. If you do the milk, go for whole organic milk if you can. Go with that because nutrient value is much higher with that. Or if you can find a raw milk producer in your area, go get some raw milk. Fresh squeezed is always best. Just so you know that some people may not like that, but we've lived on it
fresh squeezed milk?
Oh yeah, fresh squeezed.
Oh, wow.
Straight from the udder. I've had it. It's fantastic.
Get a goat for the backyard.
Yeah, or goat milk's fantastic too.
Yeah.
But yeah, we lived on that for centuries and centuries and centuries, and now we have all the homogenized and pasteurized and all that stuff for like the past 50 years. So are you going to take thousands of years or 50 years? I'll take thousands of years of process. So or lack of processing. So you do that, you warm it up. The constituents change a little bit. It actually creates a little bit of a gel in the stomach, which slows down digestive processes. But you've got a little higher amount of a few different amino acids are actually going to get them to calm down, relax, and start going to sleep. So if you've seen the little baby food commercials where they talk about having comfort proteins and things like that, and some of the baby meals out there, it's great marketing. Fun, good marketing. In real milk, you actually have that, and it will calm them down and get them to kind of go to sleep and chill out.
But it's about setting I would think with children, it's about setting a routine.
You're the parent. You set the routine. It's this is bedtime, but you've got to get them. You have to set it up to where they want to go to bed, which means you've got to get it darker in the room. If the lights are on, they want to be up because the lights are there. It's still like daylight outside. It's like Vegas. So if you're in Vegas, you never want to go to sleep because it's always lit up. You never know what time of day it is if you're inside a casino. They do that for a reason. If they took the lighting down, you'd want to go up to your room and go to bed. So you want to make them want to go to their room and go to bed. So you turn everything down, turn the lights down, do some softer music, get them calmed down. Like I said, put a book in their hands. They read for 30 minutes. They're going to be out like a light. Most kids are. Most everybody is. If I read at night, I am out in 30 minutes. Doesn't matter what I'm reading. Doesn't matter how interested I am out like a light. So that will help out on that. Yeah, for the sleep, for the kids, definitely 8 to 9 hours. I know they get a lot of homework, things like that, so the more they can get that done whenever they get home, the better off they'll be. Plus, if you get them up moving in the mornings, I actually have one of my clients. She's actually in middle school now. We have her getting up. She gets on the treadmill in the morning, does 20 minutes, just walking, just to get her up and moving. She does that. She has her breakfast. She goes to school. She's got tons of energy all day. She's always engaged in class, always doing very well. Of course, her grades are fantastic because she's incredibly super smart. But by the time she gets home and she does her homework, she's ready for bed because she's had this huge increase in energy. She's done everything during the day. She's been engaged all day. So by the end of the day, she's wiped out. She's ready for bed. So it's a nice little cycle that you can get them into. And you start them when
kids
they're young.
usually are pretty active during the day.
Yeah.
Are there nutrition supplements that are good for them to take?
Yeah, actually, let's start off with breakfast first because breakfast is the main thing.
I'm just wondering for sleep. I guess you don't want to drug them, but
you don't want to drug them. You can do some 5-HTP.
I just can't imagine a little kid drinking tea. Or something.
No, you're not doing tea, but 5-HTP, it's 5-hydroxytryptophan. So tryptophan, think about eating turkey. Okay, turkey's not that high in tryptophan, but tryptophan by itself does induce a sleepy state. It gets you to calm down. It increases serotonin levels. It actually reduces the urge for carbohydrate and sugar in the system, and it will calm you down.
Okay, so but you're going to start with, you're going to do the whole nutritional day for
do the whole
kid.
nutrition thing.
And of course, they're at school. You can't really monitor that too much.
You can a little bit. I mean, you can send them off with the right snacks. We're going to talk about that here in a little bit. Getting the right snacks in their hands so they're not taking down Snickers and cookies and everything else, because I mean, lunches at schools, depending on the school, some schools have fantastic lunches, some schools don't, unless you pack it for them. But even if you can't pack it for them, you can at least be in charge of what they're having in between meals. And kids need to have snacks throughout the day. I mean, they're growing, they need the nutrient value, they need some good things going in so they stay engaged and keep energy levels up. Because once their blood sugar drops, well, automatically they're going off, they're buying a Coke, they're buying candy, they're buying whatever to get that back up, because their urge is, I've got to have something in me to get this energy level back up. Quickest route to that nice cool sugary thing over there. I'll have some Coke. I'll have a Monster. Jimmy.
I'll have some,
So I got to pick on him for that.
He's always drinking those, isn't he? Are you drinking one today?
I've had 2 of them today.
Yeah. I can't get on too bad. I have one every once in a while. The main thing, breakfast, send them off with a really good breakfast in the morning. This way they are going to be energized. Breakfast is quite literally brain food, especially if you give them the right stuff. Some quick, easy things. Okay. Fruit and some Greek yogurt would be great in the mornings. This way you're getting some essential nutrients from both of those. From the Greek yogurt, you're getting some protein, you're getting some essential fats, you're getting probiotics, which are huge for the kids. They definitely need to have probiotics, mostly for immune support, because all your immune system is in your gut.
Well, go back to when you first began, you started talking about how, HDAD kids were diagnosed incorrectly a lot because they just had energy. But there are, autistic and HDAD kids out there, and they're becoming more and more prevalent.
Yeah.
And, what do you do? I mean, we've run into some things that we can do to help those kids lately, and I just wondered if you had something in your pouch.
Actually, I am going to have a guest on here, and they do deal with ADHD. They don't go the pharmaceutical route. They actually look at brainwave activity in the kids, and they start changing that around. And it works fantastically, both for kids and adults for ADHD. So whenever I bring them on, we'll really dig into that. But for the kids themselves, one, if you're buying just regular fruits and you don't have the organic ladies that were in here earlier, going to your house and putting in an organic place. And that can make a big
difference if they eat organic, correct?
Yeah, if you're getting just the regular stuff with the pesticides, it is proven over and over and over again by many studies already, and many more coming out this year, that pesticides do actually increase the occurrence of ADHD. And not just in kids eating them, but as a mother, whenever you're eating those fruits and vegetables, whenever you're pregnant, that actually translates into actually having ADHD symptoms in your kid. In fact, I posted that study on my Facebook page yesterday because it was a brand new one that came out, and they actually studied nutrient intake by mothers and what happens with the infants and kids as they get older. And it was a long-term study that looked at this, and it was pretty amazing that for anybody that was eating just regular stuff and not cleaning it and getting the pesticides off, those kids had a much, much higher instance of having ADHD than somebody that's eating organic.
I've always thought there was a connection there.
Have you ever looked at glutathione?
Glutathione is fantastic stuff, especially for helping to, especially to help clean the system. Glutathione is the main antioxidant in the body. Your body actually produces it. There are some great stuff out there, some great things out there that actually do help out with increasing glutathione production in the body. One thing is to make sure you're getting plenty of protein, because your body does actually produce glutathione from glutamine.
Don't you think kids get a lot of protein, or are they like my niece that only wants macaroni and cheese?
No, most kids want the quickest route to getting energy, which is something sugar laden or something laden with right now pretty much bad fats, because it's tough to find anything with good fats in it. But
bread.
Yeah, breads and sugary substances are just there. I mean, they make up a majority of what's out there to easily get your hands on.
And that's what kids like.
And protein usually has a higher cost to it, and it's tougher to get your hands on because you've got to cook it, prepare it, whatever, unless you're getting some that's already pre-made. So,
well, talk about the snacks. Turkey. I don't think we're going to have time to go through the whole menu, but talk about the snacks, like a protein bar that you could send with your kids.
Okay.
That
some good protein bars. I'm going to actually put these on